Wing trims are commonly requested to limit flight and may help birds avoid injury associated with flying around the house, possibly hitting ceiling fans or windows. You should, however, warn clients that wing trimming is not a foolproof anti-escape treatment and that going outdoors uncaged is inadvisable. Feathers may grow back quickly after trimming, or the right wind or level of excitement by the bird may allow the unrestrained bird with trimmed wings to fly away. Feathers, unlike hairs, do not grow constantly. Old feathers are replaced at molting when they fall out and are rapidly replaced by a new feather. This new feather has a prominent blood supply and is called a blood feather. Look at the difference between mature and blood feathers, noting the dark shaft of a blood feather. Never cut a blood feather, as this will likely produce copious bleeding. At times, a bird may be presented with several blood feathers, as the wing is molting the flight feathers. In this case, we tell clients that it would be better to wait a couple of weeks for the wing trim in order for the molt to complete. Trimming during active molting may become ineffective as the cut feathers are replaced by new full feathers. Also, the adjacent feather shafts tend to protect blood feathers from trauma and bleeding. If we trim a wing with a blood feather, we will leave the feathers on either side of the blood feather intact or long enough to provide protection for the blood feather. In the event a blood feather shaft is broken and bleeds, either during a trim or commonly at home, the bleeding must be stopped. Simply identify the bleeding feather, grab the shaft near the skin with hemostats, and pull it straight out of the follicle. Once the entire shaft has been extracted, use your finger to apply pressure to the follicle for a minute, and the bleeding will stop. A new blood feather will quickly grow back where that one was pulled. Feather shafts that are cut and not pulled will not be replaced until the next natural molt cycle. To perform a wing trim that is cosmetic and gives the bird enough wing left so it will not crash hard with flight attempts, the following procedure is used. Number 1, with the bird restrained, extend one wing. Number 2, leave uncut the last 3 primary feathers at the end of the wing and the first 4 to 5 contour feathers on the arm next to the body. 3, use suture scissors for small birds or white snail trimmers on large birds to individually cut the flight feathers. The feather is cut at the shaft, and you will need to move the small covert feathers aside to identify the shaft. Snip the shaft. There is no pain sensation or bleeding in a mature feather. 4, remember not to cut blood feathers and to leave a guard feather on each side of the blood feather for protection. 5, repeat this process on the other wing. And 6, you can offer the feathers to the client, who may collect them, or keep a stockpile to offer to children who visit your clinic. Notice how this cut looks natural when the bird is perching, as the feathers left provide normal shape.